Hey guys, it's your girl Shan and I am back with another video. I'm back with another video for you guys to help you guys. If you're new here, welcome to the family. So let's get into it. Jealousy, envy, comparison is the thief of all joy. It's the thief of peace. It's the thief of happiness. And at some point we've all possibly felt these emotions. You might feel all of these things right now towards somebody that you know or to somebody that you don't know. The purpose of this video is to help you to overcome jealousy, envy and comparison. It doesn't serve you any good. It's not something that is helpful to operate in. So we need to let go of this. We need to let it go. We need to kick it to the curb. Because when it comes to jealousy or insecurities, we're putting people on a pedestal and saying they're better than me. Whether that's because of the things that they have, the way that they carry themselves, might be because they have a lot of materialistic things, a nice car, nice clothes, nice bags, could be their financial status, it could be their career, how many friends they have. Sometimes it's not about the things that the person has externally. Sometimes it just could be about their whole presence and their whole demeanor. You've heard that before. You must know this, where somebody just doesn't like somebody and they can't pinpoint why. Being jealous or envious of somebody just because it's not necessarily about the external things that they have or the materialistic things that they have. Sometimes it might be how happy they are, how peaceful they are, and it irritates your soul. Why are you upset that someone's so happy or someone's so peaceful? Sort out your demons. That shouldn't trigger you. Jealousy isn't associated as a positive emotion, but you can use jealousy as fuel and motivation. So I want you to think about someone that you're jealous of, someone that you put on a pedestal and compare yourself to. Think about them. You know, one of the ways to overcome jealousy is to get into the habit of questioning and asking yourself why and what. So why are you jealous of this person? What do they have that you don't have? Get into the habit of doing that to get to the root of it, because they're no better than you. That person is no better than you, whether you believe it or not, whether they have all the materialistic things or not. They are no better than you. But equally, you're no better than them. Okay? And when you are jealous, when you operate in jealousy, envy, and comparison, we're operating from a lack mentality. That person has something and you're now intimidated, you're now inferior of that person. And that's a lack mentality, because you're basically saying that what they have, I now can't have. What they have, there's not enough for me. It's not possible that I could obtain that or I can have that. That is a lack mentality, and there is enough in the world for you to have what that person has, not necessarily to copy or now to try and be like somebody else. But if it's a characteristic that you want, if someone's got materialistic things, there's something that they did to obtain that. Maybe they have a good job, maybe they're good at saving, but it might not be any of those things. That person might have bad money management and have a whole load of credit cards and they're in debt because they want to get the materialistic things that they have. So you don't know what it takes, and I don't know what it takes for somebody to acquire all these things. This is why we shouldn't compare, because we don't know what is really going on in that person's life. That person could be in a relationship. You're single, you're lonely, and you want a hug, and no one isn't giving you a hug. And you look at this couple and like, oh, look at them. How good do they look together? Oh, he looks after her. Oh, he takes her here. Oh, he does this for her, or she does this for him. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. They might not even be happy. They might be abusing each other verbally, emotionally. They might break up once a week. But you're sitting there with your single self, no stress from a partner, a husband, or a wife. You can just get up freely without having to answer or explain or have any conflict with anybody. Now, when people operate from jealousy or envy or comparison, it can be very black or white, and you don't consider these things when you're thinking that somebody else is better than you and they have more than you. You don't consider this. But it's not black and white, because there's pros and cons in any situation that you're in, whether you have money, whether you don't have money, whether you're in poverty or whether you're in wealth. There's pros and cons to it all. So don't compare, because you don't really know what's really happening, and you don't really know what it took for the person to have what they have, and you don't really know what it takes to maintain it either. That person could be in debt, that person could be getting abused, that person might stress every day because they don't know how to break up or leave their partner, their husband, their girlfriend, their man, whoever, Okay, you don't know how insecure that person might feel, how much they look at themselves and hate themselves, and when they put clothes on they feel awful and all the rest of it. You don't know. And that person that you're jealous of might be looking at somebody else and comparing themselves to them. So what am I trying to say here? Don't compare, don't be jealous, don't be envious. The other day I was watching Everyone Hates Chris with my son. I can't remember the actor's name. She had just come out of prison and was still getting in trouble, still living life on the edge a little bit. She was trying to be close to Chris's mum. Chris's mum wasn't having any of it. But the more the lady who had just came out of prison started to experience life out in the real world, she started to strive for better. She picked up a computer course, and then Chris's mum was like, hold up, wait a minute. And then she wanted to do the computer course. But prior to that, she was looking down on her, thinking, right, you've just come out of prison, stay away from me, you're a bit wild, and all the rest of it. And the more that the lady that came out of prison started to work on herself, Chris's mum started to look at her like, hold up, like, you really trying to be something? So the lady that just came out of prison started to teach everybody how to use computers. So Chris's mum then went on the computer course, and the lady that came out of prison was the teacher. They got into a little heated debate at the end. The lady that came out of prison, that's now a computer teacher, started to say to Chris's mum, I'm just trying to be like you. And then Chris's mum was like, I'm just trying to be like you. So they both were jealous and envious and comparing themselves to each other, but they both wanted to be like each other. So my point is you don't know who is inspired by you. You don't know who's looking at you and wants to have everything that you have. You don't know who admires your strength and your resilience and your happiness and your peace. But you're looking at somebody else trying to be like somebody else. So the message is be happy with who you are and start to find qualities and strengths in who you are, everything that you possess, and all the good things that you have to offer. Start to find qualities in yourself. Start to think of things that you're good at, because we're all good at something. Listen, there's billions of people in the world. I know it sounds so cliche, but there's billions of people in the world, okay? And even though there's similarities between all of us, not one of us are the same. Not one of us. Not two of us are the same. Even down to twins, even down to identical twins, they're not exactly the same. Okay, no one in this world is exactly the same. So how exciting is that we've been uniquely made by God to be authentic, to be original. You are an original you. Why try and be a watered down counterfeit of somebody else when you can be the best version of you? Why try and be like somebody else? And you will never be them anyway. You would try and be them, but in your head you would know that you're trying to be like somebody else. Don't do it. Don't do it. Spend your time and energy discovering who God created you to be. Isn't that exciting? Leaning in on your skills, your qualities, your sense of humor, your personality, your creativity, because we've all got it. The question is have you tapped into it? Have you tapped into it? And if you don't know what you're good at and you're sitting here saying, oh, there's nothing that I like about myself, like I'm not good at this, I'm not good at anything, and you're struggling with self-esteem, you're struggling with confidence, I challenge you this right now. I challenge you this. Send out a message to 10 people in your WhatsApp contacts, or put it on your status if you're brave enough, and just say, guys, look, have a transparent moment. What you're going to say is, guys, right now, I'm trying to find some things that I like about myself. I'm trying to understand myself a bit more. And I'm just interested to know, in the time that you've known me, can you let me know some positive things that you like about me, some skills that I might have? What positive qualities do I have? Can you share them with me? I'm supporting a lady that suffers with low self-esteem, confidence, and she did it and she was blown away by the responses, and it reinforced to her everything that I've been saying, that we can speak really horrible to ourselves and not show ourselves the same compassion, the same love, the same patience that we give to others. Pour back into yourself. Many times we are our own worst enemy. And a lot of the times we're not very nice to ourselves. We can speak really negative to ourselves. We're our own worst critics. So sometimes, yes, it might take us out of our comfort zone. But the reason why you have to do it, because that person that you're jealous of, that person that you're envious of, that person that you compare yourself to, you're speaking better about them than you are yourself. Hello? You're speaking better about them than you are yourself. Because your internal dialogue is saying, they're better than me, I'm not enough. Oh my gosh, look at them, look how beautiful they are, I'm not enough. That's basically what you're saying. Oh, look what they can do. I can't do it. All these things where you're comparing yourself and you're using that person as a measure. You're using that person as a measure. Let me ask you this. Because you lot are getting me mad right now. Let me ask you this. If that person that you're comparing yourself to, or those people that you're comparing yourself to, what if they no longer had the things that you're jealous of? What if they no longer had those things that you're jealous of? What then? What if they lost their looks, because that's possible? What if they lost all the materialistic things? What if they lost all those things? Are you enough now? Are you enough now? Are you happy that they've lost those stuff? Because if you are, that's not a healthy way to be operating. And this is the point. Your worth can't be dictated by external things and people. It has to be based on God, because God don't change, but people do, and our emotions and our thoughts do. We need a firm foundation where we're not wavering, and 1 minute we're good enough and the next that we're not. If you're around somebody that intimidates you because of the way that they look, the way that they carry themselves, the things that they do, what, you're not good enough now, and now you're jealous and envious and comparing yourself. No, don't do that. You need to have a firm foundation and be confident in who you are. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in who you are and who God's made you to be. And that can be hard, and it takes practice. It takes training. So another thing that you can do, affirmations. Oh my gosh, like, I believe in affirmations. Affirmations are my best friend, because when I'm not feeling good enough, someone's not going to sit there and affirm to me all the things that I want to hear all the time. Someone's not going to sit there and be like, Tiffany, you know you're doing great. You know you're the bomb. You know you look great today. Like, people aren't always going to do that, because everyone is the main character in their own movie. So people aren't always going to do that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're jealous of you or they're hating on you. But you have to come to the realization that you have to be your own best friend and talk to yourself like you would talk to somebody that you place on a pedestal. Not to say that you're better than anybody else, but get into the habit of talking to yourself. Listen, I told you, I didn't even plan today, yeah? Where's my affirmations? Use that. Yeah. Look at my page. Use that. Think I'm joking. You have to talk to yourself. Look at mine, yeah? I don't even know if you can see. I did this the 26th of Feb, 2024. Look at my affirmations, yeah? I do this to myself. Look, I do this. I talk to myself. And then I read it. And then at the bottom here, I'll put, God's voice is the loudest voice in my life. Because if you're comparing yourself to somebody, or if you're jealous, like I said just a minute ago, if that person lost all those things and didn't have the things that you're jealous of anymore, now you're good enough? No. So God's voice needs to constantly be the loudest voice in your life. What does God say about you? God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, you are enough. Okay, listen, I've written here, well done, Shan. I am so proud of you. I love you, and you are enough. No one is above you, and you are not above anyone else. Be confident in you and shine. I wrote this and didn't plan to mention it in the video, but this is what I do. I put these things into practice because I understand that our emotions can fluctuate day to day. So if you're having a rubbish day, if you're not feeling great, and then you see something that triggers you, you need to have some sort of anchor. You need to have something inside of you that keeps you grounded and keeps you focused and aligned with who you are, and you're not constantly swayed. So when you go to the supermarket, in the hairdressers, or you're going to get your nails done, or you're scrolling on social media, you're not easily swayed. And young people need to hear this video over and over again, because I promise you, like, listen, if I have a daughter, obviously I've got a son right now, but honestly, it's like social media will have you comparing. I haven't been on Instagram or Snapchat now for some time. I haven't been on there for months, because I know what it's like to compare. I know what it's like to envy. And I know what it's like when you're not in a great place, but you're seeing other people look like they're in a great place. Why do I want to feed into something that I'm struggling with right now? So you have to guard your mind. Guard your mind, guard your eyes, like constantly take social media breaks. Like, listen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Feed your soul, feed your mind. Like, why would you not be happy with certain parts of your life and spend more time on social media than working on yourself? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Check your screen time. After this video, check your screen time. Like, I'm happy for you guys to watch my YouTube videos. I'm all for that, yeah? So don't cut me out your screen time. But check your screen time for like Instagram, TikTok and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that we need to cut all these things out, but if you're spending more time browsing and indulging in things that aren't serving you, then what are you doing? What are you doing? If you want to lose weight, you can't be spending more time on social media than you are in the gym. Okay, you can't be jealous or envious of somebody that's losing weight, looking fit, that's going on all these holidays, but you spend all your money on eating out, clothes and clubbing. Like, you have to become more disciplined and more intentional about who you want to be and what you want to become, because what you can do is look at the people that you are jealous of and that you are comparing yourself to, and use it as fuel and motivation to better your own life, to improve your own life. We're so blessed. We have so many options. We take things for granted. Like, you could go outside now and start jogging. You could start going to the gym. You could start saving your money. You could start looking at courses to improve yourself. Use it as fuel. Look at the person. Have conversations with the person and be like a child that's inquisitive and find out, how did they get to where they got to? Because when you find out, you might not want it after all. But find out. It might be good money management. They might have a particular strategy when it comes to dating and what to look out for. I don't know. Okay, but don't sit there and be too prideful and too proud to inquire and to ask. Like, I'm sure we all want better for ourselves, and operating jealousy, comparison and envy isn't going to get you to where you want to get to. And if it is friends or family that you are jealous of, people can sense jealousy, and you don't want to lose people because of a negative emotion. That's not something that you want associated with you. Okay, so work on it. It's going to take time, it's going to take training, but work on it, because you don't want to lose people because of it. You don't want to lose people because of it. So get into the habit of saying, I am doing amazing. People ain't gonna do it for you. I promise you. You need to say, I am great. I am proactive. I am focused. I know that I'm capable. I am guaranteed success. I'm guaranteed success. I am creative. I create opportunities. I break generational curses. I am loving. I am peaceful. I am enough. I am worthy, I am special, I am pretty, I am beautiful, I attract wealth, I am genuine, I walk in love. These are the sorts of things that you want to be operating in and walking in, not jealousy, not envy, not none of that. None of that. That ain't gonna get you anywhere. And actually, it's gonna make your life a lot more miserable when you can be confident in yourself and speak to yourself, and you don't need anyone else to tell you it. You don't need anybody else to affirm it. You're good. And then you will feel liberated. You will feel free that I'm good. I'm good. I don't need an external thing or person to validate me. So even if you have a chipped tooth, even if you have acne, even if you feel like you have certain flaws that the other person doesn't have, you will still know that you're enough. You could be in a wheelchair. You could have everything that the world would say, oh my gosh, like, look at them, they're not enough. But if you can tell yourself that and become more fully convinced and fully persuaded that you're enough, it doesn't matter what somebody else says. It doesn't matter who rejects you. It doesn't matter if you're lacking right now. If you know that God has created you for a purpose and that you are uniquely made, you're onto something, and you have to do it. And if you've got girl children, matter of fact, if you've got children, reinforce these things into them, because listen, with social media, the temptation to compare. You know how it is. People commit suicide over not feeling enough. People commit suicide for lack of self-esteem. People self-harm, have imposter syndrome, neglect themselves, the whole shebang, because of not feeling adequate or enough. You have to know that you are worthy, you are enough, exactly where you are in your current circumstances, with your chipped lips, with all your flaws and everything. You're still enough, because God created you for a purpose, and every day that you wake up, you are here for a purpose. You're not here by mistake. When you wake up with breath, even though you might not want to be here, you are enough. You're enough, okay? And no one is better than you, no matter what they've got, no matter how they look. No one's better than you. I promise you, no one's better than you. No one's better than you. No one is better than you. So the more you become your authentic self, the more people will be attracted to you, because you're being your authentic self. But when you're trying to be like somebody else, the wheels are going to fall off at some point. The wheels are going to fall off at some point because it's hard being yourself, let alone being somebody else. It'll be a lot easier if you try to be yourself than being like somebody else. So lean into it, dive into it, explore it, start to journal, start to read, start to watch more videos and become inquisitive about who you are, who God created you to be. Try new things, be open to opportunities, because that's how you're going to discover who you are. Everything you're giving to somebody else, all this energy, all this deep thinking and overthinking about everything that somebody else has, and scrolling on social media and comparing and all the rest of it, just start, pause, wait a minute, pour it into yourself. You have to do it daily, because some days you're not going to be in the mood, some days you're going to be irritated, some days you're just going to be like, can't be bothered. Okay, but them days in particular, you're gonna need it, you're gonna need it, you're gonna need it, you're gonna need it. So get into a habit of doing it. Wake up early, spend time with God, praying, meditating, reading, and speaking life into your soul, into your children's soul. Spend time and invest in them and help your children to know that they are enough. We don't have to try and be like anybody else. You don't have to try and be like anybody else. Be yourself. Be yourself and set yourself free. For I promise you, you will feel liberated from being your authentic self. The end. Guys. When you think about how many different packets of crisps there are, when you think about how many fizzy drinks they are, how many hairdressers they are, how many different cars they are, when you think about how many different restaurants they are, there's enough. And people aren't going to stop creating new ones. Why? Because there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody to eat. There's enough for everybody to eat and more. There's enough for everybody to eat. When you have an abundance mindset, you are aware that actually there's enough for me. So if you're seeing somebody else doing well, be happy for them, because that means that it's possible for you too, because they're no better. They're not better, okay? Have an abundance mindset where you know that there's enough for me. So just because somebody else has, that doesn't mean that they've taken away from you. That doesn't mean that there's no more left. I don't know the stats, but let's just say every day a new restaurant's opening up. The owner doesn't say, I'm not going to open a restaurant because look how many restaurants there are already. Oh, no, there's enough. That person's still going to open a restaurant. Restaurants are opening every day. There's new sweets out here. There's new snacks all the time because there's enough. Have an abundance mindset. Be happy. Be inspired by people and use it as fuel to help you to be better. One thing I've learned about jealousy and envy and comparison, it takes root and can become more ingrained over time. And then you wonder, how did I even get here? It only started with me looking at their picture, or it only started with me just saying, oh, I like that, or well done for you. It takes root, and before you know it, you're toxic, okay? We don't want that for you. Don't allow it to take root. Start to find good things you like about yourself. Pray about it. Say, God, I don't like this. Help me. You don't want it to become toxic, okay? Someone else might be doing better than us in a certain area or whatever it is, and you need to be genuine and walk in love regardless, and be confident in who you are. Be confident in who you are and who God created you to be. So guys, I don't know who needed to hear this today, but I'm glad that you tuned in. Like I said, if you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with somebody that you think might benefit from it. I just gave you some of my time. I want something back. And if you do need any support with motivation, goal setting, accountability, or anything like that, book in with me for some one-to-one support. I'll put the link in my description to my website. Invest in yourself, and I can help you, because listen, sometimes we do need support, and sometimes doing things on your own really difficult and it doesn't get you anywhere. Admit when you need help. Don't be too proud or too prideful to not get help, and invest in yourself. Don't sit there, compare yourself, get upset, be jealous and be envious of somebody else, but then not pour into yourself, not invest in yourself. I'm out. I think I'm done.